Hi, I'm back. I was headed home. I'm dying for a drink, and my dogs are dying for a drink. And I just started thinking about this dream that I had last night, and I was praying, and God said, stop at the next stop and share, because he showed me something in this dream I had. And it was not a good dream. It was one of those dreams that I didn't write down because I don't want to remember it. It was horrible what I saw taking place. And so I'm not going to go into the details of it, but trigger warning. And if you have sensitive ears and if you can't handle the reality of some harsh things that are happening in the world, then you might want to, now's your chance to get out of here. And I hope you can hear me because I've got a whole elementary school full of children at recess right now, but I'm not going to sit here and wait for it to get over because I need a drink. Okay, I'm going to start with something that happened to me, to my dog. Let me show you the poor victim that we're going to talk about. This is my dog, Zion. Hi, buddy. He's a sweet boy, huh? He's the best dog ever. He's 7 years old, and he's the topic of our conversation because little did I know that when I named Zion, and when I named Eden, that God was going to use my dogs as a theme of revelation to give to me, as symbols of Zion, the New Jerusalem, and as symbols of Eden, which is the return to Eden. I guess that's basically kind of the same thing. The first and the last and the first, Eden and Zion. So, I had a supposed survivor, who I prayed for and helped through coming out of an elite Illuminati Nephilim bloodline. She was born with a sixth finger, and so she called me and had heard one of my videos, and that's a long story. I don't have time to go into all the Nephilim stuff right now, but there's a lot of people that are born with a sixth finger, and that's a sign of being born into the bloodlines, the offspring of the fallen. The remnants here of it's not a remnant, it's probably the wheat and the tares, I couldn't put a number to it, but it's more than most people would imagine. So she was my, I don't even know what you'd call me to her. I'm a prayer intercessor, and so she called me and asked me for help. She wanted salvation, supposedly. Long story short, I found out after a year of wasting my time with her that she reached out to me to waste my time, and that she was the high-level mother of darkness for the beast system. And when I figured out who she was, without going into all the details, one morning my son came in and he's like, Mom, Zion pooped all over the bedroom. And this dog had bowel problems for a long time. Okay, we're getting into it now. I was a nurse. I can handle this kind of stuff. I've done the grossest stuff in the world. So if you can't stomach it, you might want to go. But he had pooped all over the room, and he had kind of like more constipation issues for a long time. He never pooped more than once a morning, and it was a little bit. And since I put him on a vegan diet and a bunch of supplements and stuff, we got him. He's on point. I don't want to do that. Excuse me. He's doing good now. And so, but at this time, there was 7 piles of dog poop all over this room. And my son had told me earlier, after I woke up and went in the room and noticed this horrific mess, that it was nothing we had ever seen before. I knew something majorly wrong was going on. And my son had said in the middle of the night that Zion woke up and was screaming like a human, petrified, terrified. He's never done anything like that before, and it freaked my son out. So I don't even remember how it came to me, but what I realized was that I had a high-level witch astral project into my son's bedroom and ritually sodomized my dog in his sleep, and he woke up and it caused a reaction all over the room. Okay, this is the kind of reality that I've lived with for years, this kind of stuff happening to me. And it's terrible. And God always shows me when I have infiltrators. But I was so pissed because I was like, oh, no, you don't mess with my dog and my kids. And I immediately knew when I figured it out that it was her, because she had asked me while she was pretending to be my friend that, not friend, but that she needed my help. It was always like, oh, can you pray for me? I need you. Can you help me with this? Help me with that. She had asked me, what's your dog's names? And I told her Eden and Zion. It was the next night after she'd asked me. So somehow, she needed permission to get in. And so last night, the dream that I had was God showing me the legal right that my sin that left that door open in order for her to come in and have access to my dog. God's been showing me a lot about dominion and the dominion that we have over our pets. And because we have dominion over them, when we open the door to the enemy, then they have access to our dogs. So he was showing me doors way back when that I had opened, that left open doors a few years later that allowed her to come in and sodomize my dog in the spirit by astral projection. Okay? So go back and watch my last live. Now I'm going to hop and tag on to what I was just saying about the Lord's name in vain being misunderstood, and that taking the Lord's name in vain is about misrepresenting God and taking his name without true intent, true purpose, and following his commandments the way that we've been commanded to, and being a representative of who he really is. So what I was understanding that I was seeing in this wretched image that he showed me last night, that had to do with what had happened to my dog that day. And my dog being a symbol, not just a dog, but so on one hand, dogs are what God calls in the Bible when he's referring to sodomites, he calls them dogs. Okay, so keep that in mind. And then my dog's name is Zion. So we have two levels, two different how do you call that? There's two levels of symbolism at play here. There's the symbolism of the sodomite and somebody who's been abused or ritualized, who's a victim to that, a sign of Sodom and Gomorrah. And then we have a sign on the other hand, on the other end of the par, we have Zion, New Jerusalem. So what God was revealing to me in this revelation was that those who come to Zion, who come to New Jerusalem, who are the overcomers, are going to be survivors of Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, whether that's literally or figuratively, both are going to be true. Because right now, I got dog hair blowing in my mouth, as if my mouth's not dry enough. Okay, so we've got the churches being run by Freemasons, i.e. Sodom and Gomorrah. And we've got all of their children generationally who are born and ritualized within the 2 weeks into Sodom and Gomorrah. And then you've got those who don't experience it on that level and who are victims on another level. Okay, so now we're going to go into some worldly slang. When we say somebody screwed you over, when you've been, messed with, they say, oh, he gave it to you or he really, you know the sayings. He got it I'm not going to say it. Okay. God knows our slang. He knows how we talk. And he's using this as an example to show me what's going on in the church. And the church is all being ritually sodomized right now, whether figuratively or literally. And both are playing out. And for those who it's not happening to literally, it's happening to figuratively. And in that regard, it's being done to you spiritually. Because you've been handed a false bill of lies. Jeremiah, is it 16:18, I believe, basically says that in the last days we'd look back and look at everything that our fathers taught us, and we'd realize all we have inherited is a bill of lies. And that's where we're at, because we've been taught a Pauline gospel. And I have plenty of other stuff. I'm not going to go into it in this video, but Paul was a false apostle. And that's about the only guy who's being taught in the churches right now. The law and the covenant of life that Yeshua taught is not being taught. And Paul's covenant with death of lawlessness is what is being taught. A law of grace, a law of not needing to be righteous, a law of I can't do what I should do. Everything I should do, I can't do. That's what's being taught in the church right now. And so, you make it to the New Jerusalem. You're that overcomer that it talks about in the book of Revelation. Seated next to the throne, ruling and reigning with Christ. You're going to be an overcomer of Sodom and Gomorrah. Because I don't think anybody's going to make it in untouched or unscathed, whether it be literally or figuratively. We've all been ritually sodomized by the powers that be, because this world is run by Freemasonry, which is modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, so that's what I had to say. I got some comments here. Make a Luciferian cloud mind group of people assist as new friends that show up. Very true. Yeah, so anyway, I've been, the Lord allowed some wild people into my life to do some wild things, and this poor buddy, let's see, this poor buddy, he's a survivor too, huh? He's an overcomer. Oh, and there you probably got some of my Nazarite legs in there too that you didn't want to see. Oh, well, I'm going to go get a drink. Have a lovely day. And, you might want to renounce Sodom and Gomorrah and get out of those churches. Love ya.